Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you how I made this classic Greek meal called Avgolemono soup while in Athens. So stay tuned for all the delicious details to come. Let's get it! Right now I'm in a place called AB Shop and Go, a mini supermarket that pretty much has everything you could possibly need while vacationing in the city. I was really surprised to see the selection of things they had because honestly, it's basically like a hole in the wall. No offense. Everything was in Greek, so I was going based off the images on the packaging. They have a meat, frozen, dairy, and produce section that's upkept pretty well, along with other essentials for the house. I came to grab everything I need for my meal. I didn't really want to grab anything additional because I knew I only had like 2 more days here before flying back to the US. Even though it's a small place, I could have spent hours here just taking everything in. Now I'm back in my Airbnb. I grabbed 2 carrots. I probably should have grabbed more veggies, but I wanted to play safe since this is my first time making it. I got a half a carton of brown eggs. I got 3 lemons. Some medium green rice. This was the smallest package they carried. Y'all know I had to grab some spices for this, so I picked up some onion powder. It was really helpful that the ingredients were in English, otherwise I would have been so lost. I also got some paprika. For some reason, I put paprika in almost everything that's savory. It's definitely a staple spice for me. The place I was staying in had the basics like salt, black pepper, and olive oil. Greece is known for their olives and of course olive oil, being a major producer and exporter in that market. And last but not least, some chicken breast. I believe it's chicken breast just because of the way it looks. Obviously, I don't know what it says. I initially wanted to use thighs, but unfortunately they didn't have any. I began chopping my carrots. I'm gonna use as much as I can just because that's the only veggie I picked up. I wanted small circles, then I decided to cut the carrots sideways to have more of a unique look. I also didn't have a peeler, so I just rinsed the outer skin as best as I could to remove any dirt. I wanted to saute them before adding them to the soup for a more enhanced flavor. Next, I rinsed the chicken. This is referred to as cleaning the chicken. I do this because you just never know where things been before they've been packaged and also sold. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who does this, but I feel like this is like a Black person thing. I added water to my pot, and even though I'm weighing it here, the recipe will be in the description box below. I'm placing my 2 chicken breasts inside so they can boil. I've seen people use broth instead of water, but it makes sense to just make my own broth since I have to cook the chicken. Now I add my spices. I don't really care to put measurements to spices because everyone is different. I may want more flavor than you, or vice versa, so just use your best judgment. You know what your taste buds like. I usually like to add a variety of different spices like parsley and garlic, but I'm working with what I currently got. After about 20 minutes, the chicken is done cooking, so you can take it out and set it to the side. If you don't take it out, you will have overcooked chicken breast, and there's nothing worse than that. I don't know why it was so hard to get them out that pot. Next, I add my rice. I will admit, I did put more rice than I would have liked. Measuring tools are my fave because there's little to no error when using them. However, I had what I had. I let the rice cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. I decided to taste the broth and it needed way more flavor. I can't stand to eat anything bland. I actually eat my food, so I want it to taste good. That's why I said use your discernment when using spices. The rice is just about done here, but because I added so much, I needed to balance it with more water for it to be considered a soup, if you know what I mean. I pull apart the chicken because this meal calls for shredded chicken. That's the most traditional way you'll see this soup served. Just a quick note, I decided to make this because not only does my Airbnb only have a stove, so no oven. I used to eat this years ago when I got sick. When I lived in Brooklyn, New York, my ex would always get this from a restaurant called Avgolemono, and it would make me feel 1,000 times better. I really do miss that restaurant. There's good memories surrounding this meal. So shout out to Max, even though he hates my guts. And also, it's currently like the end of winter here. This recipe calls for 3 eggs, and let me tell y'all, I've never seen eggs that look so rich before. I haven't had the pleasure of dealing with eggs straight from the farm, farm to table without no one interceding in the US, so this was a pleasant surprise for me, especially it being like store-bought eggs in a different country. So next, I juiced 3 lemons. I don't think a lot of people use this much for this portion, but what I loved so much about this is the tangy flavor from the lemons. It's something about the acid mixing with the protein that makes it so much more enjoyable, without curdling it. I take the eggs, combine with the lemon juice, and mix. There's no whisk, so a fork was the next best thing. This part right here is probably the most important part. The key is tempering the egg lemon mixture so that it doesn't become scrambled eggs or like weird curds. What I'm doing here is gradually warming the eggs with small amounts of the hot broth before I add it to the pot. I keep stirring so that I prevent the eggs from cooking. I repeat this process until I feel like I tempered it enough to the point where adding it to the pot won't completely destroy the soup. I add the cooked chicken back to the pot. It's already looking so crowded, but when I add the liquid, it will make it a little bit more loose. So I make sure to pour slowly and then stir. I keep doing this until all of the liquid, the egg lemon mixture, is combined in the pot. It's looking exactly how I thought it would look. And I managed to not mess it up. I add some more spices and olive oil for garnish. Doesn't that look so good? Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I love y'all. Most importantly, God loves y'all. Peace.